Hey guys, welcome back to Bride Society. Today we're doing a super simple DIY for a personalised coat hanger. So first up, once you've got your equipment, we're going to cut our length of ribbon. So I've already pre-measured mine, so I've tied it in a bow already, so I know. So mine is 19 inches long, so that should give you a nice decent sized bow that will look like this. Then you need to measure out the area where you want the vinyl to sit, so you know what dimensions you've got to play with. Mine are 3 by 1 inches. The Cricut design space and mats will tend to work in inches, so if you can measure in inches, that's probably easiest. So next, open up your Cricut design space, and if you don't already have a blank canvas, just hit the new button over here. Okay, and then once you've done that, we're going to head over to the text icon on the left and just add whatever text you like. So for me, I'm going to add my name, but it could be your bridesmaid's name, flower girl, or indeed the word bridesmaid or flower girl, that type of thing. And I'm just going to move it up here to work. Then we're going to pick out our text. I like to change it to what's on my system because I don't actually pay for the extra text and things that Cricut provides. So this is just going to be what's already available to you on your computer. So I'm going to pick this one. Then I'm just going to check the settings up here at the top. So first you need to make sure you're set to cut. You don't need any fill. Style set to regular. You've got other options, but regular's fine. Font size, so we're currently at 72, which is too big for our project. So you can just highlight that and type in something smaller and play around with it till you get the size that you want. I'm going to go for around 34 point for now. You can adjust the letter spacing. I'm going to make mine a bit more compact, like so. And indeed, you can alter the line spacing if you have multiple lines too, if you wish, but I don't, so I'm just going to leave as is. So you can resize the box like this too to adjust the sizing to what you need. Remember the space you've got to work within that we pre-measured. You can also resize it like this. If you unlock it, it'll hold the ratio of dimensions if you do this. So again, I'm just making this adjustment based on how I want it to fit within the ribbon that I measured out earlier. It doesn't matter where you leave your text on this page. I got confused about this initially when I started with Cricut. It doesn't matter where you put your text on this page. It will automatically sort it onto your mat when you move to make it later. So next you want to grab your iron-on foil vinyl of whatever colour you've chosen and just measure out and cut a piece of the material. I've cut more than I need, so you can do multiple names on that one piece if you wanted to. Okay, and then grab your mat. So for this project, you'll need your standard grip mat because it's iron-on vinyl. So I'm going to go ahead and stick my vinyl to the self-adhesive mat. Now it's really important that you flip it over like this. I got really confused the first time I used it because I talked about the shiny side down, and to me that's the shiny side, but the backing is actually on the coloured side, and you don't want to cut through the backing, you want to cut through the vinyl side. So make sure it's this way up and just really smooth that down and make sure it's stuck nice and flush to the mat, like so. Then head back to design space and hit make it in that top right hand corner. Okay, this is your mat. Now you can move your text around on this mat if you don't want it to be positioned at that point on the mat. I like to give myself a bit more leeway in the corner. Next, it's really important you hit this mirror button, make sure that's on so your image flips, because you need it to cut in reverse because you're cutting onto the back of the image. Okay, and then when you're happy, hit continue. And that should find your connected machine. Give it a second. Okay, and then use select your material. Now, I already have mine because I've used it before. It's foil iron-on. Okay, but if you don't, you can browse all materials and find it in the list. But this is the one you want. If you're going to use it regularly, give it a star so it remembers. Okay, so next up, the same. Make sure mirror's turned on. Default's fine. Next, grab your fine point blade and we'll load that into the clamp. So So we're going to load our blade into clamp B, so you just open it up, grab your blade, so it's the fine point one, so it's the one with the almost barely there point. Okay, and then we just pop it in the top here, close the clamp like so, and it just locks it into place. The next thing we need to do is load your mat. So grab the green mat with the material on it that we put together earlier, and you just load it into the machine. Make sure it goes under these little plastic wings either side. Okay, and then push the flashing button on top. So now everything should be set up and ready to cut, and you'll see the little Cricut logo flashing on your machine. So we're just going to press that, and off it goes. So now you're just going to let it do its thing. Make sure there's enough space behind the machine for it to suck it all the way through like that. So once your cut's finished, the button on top will flash again for you to unload the mat. Just check it's cut all the way through, as best you can tell, so it doesn't need to do another pass. Mine looks good. So that means we're on to the weeding. So you're going to use your weeding tool, which is this one here, just to remove what we call the negative space. So that's like the unwanted parts that you don't want to transfer onto your design. So the holes between the letters, that kind of thing. So you're just going to remove all of those. I like to sometimes use these little tweezers to help me get them if I can't quite grab them. It's a really useful tool, and it's also handy to have that little sort of sticky thing to stick them to. It's just the backing from a previous project, but a little tip for you there to hang on to some of that. After you've done between the letters, then finally I like to remove the rest of the unwanted vinyl as the last step. It doesn't matter what order you do it in. I also find it quite helpful to do it whilst it's still stuck to the mat, just to give you something to kind of pull against. But again, you can take it off if you want to. It's just, I find it easier that way, so it's just a bit of a tip there. And you just want to take it slow and steady, making sure the design is still sticking to the backing material. Once that's done, you can remove your design from the mat, and so if you flip it over, you'll be able to see that everything's definitely been removed and you're ready to go. So we need to switch on your Cricut Mini. This just wants to be on the low setting, so just press it once. And then we're going to get our material ready for the transfer. So this is where I want to stick it ultimately, and now you can just flip it over and place it where you want it on your design. So I want it towards the end of my ribbon, not quite at the end, but in that sort of last section. Just try and get it straight as possible. And it's slightly sticky, so be able to sort of hold it in place by itself. Once your Cricut Mini has turned green like this, it means it's reached temperature and you're ready to go. So for this particular material and fabric and the foil iron-on vinyl, you're going to want to do this for 30 seconds on the low heat with this kind of constant movement, light pressure, and you just do this for 30 seconds. So once your 30 seconds is up, you're going to want to flip your design over like this, and then you need to apply the Cricut Easy Press Mini again with the same temperature, but this time just for 15 seconds, applying light pressure just to seal that design in. Then you just need to let that cool down, and I like to remove mine from the heat resistant mat to do that, just to speed it up. And once you're there, you just peel the backing away. So now the hard part's done, and we're ready just to attach our ribbon to our hanger. Obviously if you want to apply more text to the ribbon you can. I'm just going to do my name for now. And so I'm just going to tie it in a normal bow. You just start off by making sure that the two lengths are the same either side, so you get a nice even ribbon when you tied it, and obviously just keeping track of which side your text is on, so it doesn't end up upside down or anything like that. So you can just follow this carefully. You should be able to manage that fine. So just straighten your bow out, make sure you've got it how you want it, and it should look something like this. This final stage is just completely personal preference. I just like to add a blob of glue with my glue gun to the top of the hanger just to make sure that it's secure in place and doesn't come undone or end up spinning around when you're transporting it to your venue or giving it to somebody, anything like that. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll see you next time.